Hey, this is Chris with Clinician Connection, and I'm hanging out with Charese, who is one of our talented speakers. Will be hanging out with us in April, and we're just continuing in our series of interviews, giving you guys an opportunity to get to know some folks. So, Charese, thanks for hanging out today. How are you?
I'm doing well, Chris. Thanks for having me. I'm excited about the conference and just ready to meet everyone and just deliver.
Yeah, we are so pumped that you're having. One of the things I always like to ask folks here is, Lisa and I proposed this thing we're working on to all kinds of people. And even as you and me were just speaking before officially starting this conversation, we have a lot of stuff going on. What is it about this where you're like, you know what, I think I'll find some time to do this? Like, what gets you excited about joining us?
I think in our work, one of the highest forms of flattery, and we hear this a lot amongst entertainers, is that when
Mm,
you get to be celebrated and get to pour into your own community of clinicians, like that's like the highest reward and the highest payback. If I'm
mm.
speaking to someone outside of my community, that's different. But when I'm speaking with people I even worked with or went to school with, or we just understand the culture, it's like, why would I not show up for my own clinician community? So,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, it's like that family vibe, man. Showing up
right,
to be with family.
right.
Cool. Well, we're glad you're coming. I know you'll be sharing with us on this idea of like self-acceptance and what it means to like, I guess, kind of be your genuine version of yourself. I don't want to put words into your mouth though. What is it about that idea or topic for you that it just hits as like this is the thing that you want to bring to people?
Yeah, I went through the whole, this is the script I'm supposed to follow, graduated
Mm,
high school, went immediately to undergrad, went immediately to grad school, got into the workforce, moved up in terms of supervising. And then once I accomplished all of that, I'm looking at life as like, now what? Like
mm,
no one ever told me what the next step was, so I'm trying to do all these things. And one of those other things was, now you're supposed to get married and you're supposed to have children. Okay, well, let me accomplish that too. So I did that around my mid 20s. And it was at that time that the supervisor job just wasn't working out for me. At the same time, I'm going through a divorce. And I'm looking at life like there has to be more than this
mm.
other than school, which is great, but I maximized that the level that I wanted to maximize it. And so I really had to go on a journey of what does life look and feel like for me that's internal happiness versus these external milestones. And I really had to get so uncomfortable. So everything that I said I would not do, I made a conscious decision to do it. I said, I don't speak in public. I joined a direct
Okay.
right. So much of that, right? I joined a direct selling company so that I would purposely meet people, have to sell, and learn to speak in public. And I tried everything that I thought was just so uncomfortable. Groupon was my friend. Groupon had some, hey, try this. Why not? And the other thing is I made a conscious decision to do it by myself because I was going through things. Whenever I would go through things, I'll pick up the phone and call a friend. Like, I'm
Mm.
from the 90s, right? I'm like this with the phone, right?
Oh
I would pick
yeah, me too.
up, right, from the 90s. And I would call a friend. I said, I need to learn how to hear my own voice. And then fast forward, I said I would never supervise again. What do I know, right? I end up supervising a government agency and helping to start and create an agency. And by this time, I learned that leadership wasn't just about what I knew, it was about the relationships. But in
Mm.
order for me to form the relationships, I had to first understand the relationship with myself. And that was the journey first. And instead of trying to change all the things that I thought were wrong with me or all the things people might have been bothered by, it's like, let me accept it. And once I accept it, I know what environments are better for me. And then maybe some environments I need to delegate because it's not my strength. And it doesn't mean I'm bad or not good or whatever. It's just not my strength. And I had to be okay with that, which made the work better, made it more rewarding, less stressful. And that's just kind of where,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's something I hear from a lot of folks in our field. That phrase you used a second ago, my own voice, and that's very powerful. I'm hit by that because I feel like that's such a common conversation to have with clients.
Right.
like, helping them learn, honor themselves, find their boundaries, navigate relationships or life decisions. But when it comes to applying that same value to ourselves, not so easy for some reason. I don't know why. But that struck me as you were talking, is that idea of our own voice. I'm curious, like, what, and you don't have to give it so deep if you don't want to. But like, what did you learn about your voice?
I learned that I didn't have to be so scared about it.
Mm,
Because I think I wanted to fit into all of these molded things that my parents laid out for me. And I realized it wasn't bad, but there was also another part of life that I didn't tap into. And so when people would put these labels on me, I used to get mad, like,
mm,
you need to smile more. And I'm like, I'm walking to the store. What am I smiling for? Like, and then I would get angry, I'm like, I'm just minding my business or other labels. But then I realized that it was actually my disposition because I really wasn't happy within me. So that's what I was giving off. And
mm.
I tried to fake it for like a day. That didn't work. I
Mhm.
still got the same feedback. And I'm like, okay, there's something that I'm missing and there's something that I'm not accepting. And it's all the things that I was running from that I had to accept, like, this is just my life. This is just my story. And it's better to stand on my story than to look at it from the outside trying to fight it. Let me stand on my story, and this is just what it is. And it's a lot more empowering to do that. And now I have the tools to know what jobs are better for me, what people that I can support, what people maybe I need to refer. That goes into the client work too. This is why I do consultations now because I understand myself better. I know what type of clients that I can help them along better and not use my stuff in theirs. I can have a session of silence because I'm okay with my own voice. I need them to hear
Mm.
theirs. If I wasn't, I'm going to be talking through the session. I'm going to be telling them everything they need to do and giving them unnecessary advice. But that journey allowed me really to know when I need to pull back. And before it was go, 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 go. Now I'm like, take a breather,
Yeah,
take a breather.
yeah, that's really powerful, and I think it's kind of a important part of that identity we build as healthcare providers or healers, or however we classify ourselves as. Something about being able to be your genuine self in the therapy room helps others that you're working with see that you can be, or they can be their genuine self too. But it's even beyond just the therapy room, right? It's like your own relationships with your family, friends, significant others, kids,
Hmm.
communities. It's huge. So oh my gosh, I'm so excited to hear what you have for us in April. What would you say people can expect to maybe take away from their time with you when they come down in gosh, it's a couple months from now.
I know it's coming. I'm coming. People can expect some level of self awareness and insight. I think we all come into the level of what we already know, but then we don't know what we don't know. And that part can be very challenging for high achievers. We want to know things. It's like, I already know this, just tell me this little piece, which is great, but maybe there might be a little bit more that can actually add peace into what you already know because you can grow, but you can grow in peace and you can do some things and you can have some goals and keep those goals, but maybe it doesn't have to be the stress that you're used to. Maybe it doesn't have to be career education on one side and fulfilling personal life on the other side. Maybe they actually can actually be better. I used to think you have to choose. Like, wait a minute,
Mm,
I can't have my professional life and my personal life in disarray. I was like, one has to be better. One has to be going well. Then as I moved along, I said, why can't both of them be good at the same time? And I couldn't come up with a good answer. And I'm like, well, what is it that I need to shift so that I can pay attention to how my whole life and trajectory is going versus succeeding in one area and the other area is just being a whole ball of stress. I just didn't want that. And I want to share that with other people of some tools of how we can do that differently.
yeah, no, that's awesome. I think there's so much to what you just said that I could break down and even try to get some more nuggets from you, but we'll save it for April when everybody gets to come down and hear from you. But I can tell you, as someone who's been in this field for over a decade, it hits, man. Like, knowing your role in your personal life versus your professional life and how they overlap, but they can complement each other and not, it's like you kind of says one or the other is the feeling we struggle with, and it really doesn't have to be. Um, and gosh, I can't imagine how many people need to hear something along those lines or get some push of encouragement to at least start exploring that and understanding that.
Mhm.
Uh, Gosh, it's going to be so good to have you. So thank you for coming and sharing with us in April. I'm always curious when I talk to people in our field too to hear if you weren't doing this, like what other kind of like almost like dream job, or if you could snap your fingers and do something completely different, what would you see yourself? It sounds like you've already done a handful of things, but
Yeah.
I always default like I think I would be a chef. Like I would just go hide in the kitchen, make food for
Right.
people.
Right. Right. If I wasn't doing this and what I'm learning now is if my life went to a different direction, I think I would have learned about how to invest sooner. Because now my thing is, how do I not waste my own time? And sometimes I'm doing things, I'm like, you're wasting your own time again. And I think,
Mm,
sometimes how do I live a life where I'm able to get what I need? I'm not trying to be a millionaire, billionaire. If I can, cool, but that's not what I'm striving for. But that I can just live and feel life. I would love to have learned investing in stocks and all that stuff. I'm learning it now. I don't think I'll get to love if I would have done it sooner in life.
yeah.
I get that. But my initial career goal, honestly, was to be a detective. But then I learned that,
Okay.
yeah, I learned that I had to carry a gun and look at deceased people. And I said, let's try
No,
social work.
thank you.
Yeah, I was like, I'll just try social work. I don't think I'm ready for that level of that. But yeah, let me
Oh
get
well, some of
to
y'all social workers got stories that are about that scary.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, it's gonna be great to have you in April. And if there's anybody who's listening here and wants to like find you online or connect with what you're doing, what's the best way for them to get you?
I am Charese Josie on all platforms. Very easy. If you spell my name right, you can find me really easy. So I work on the leadership, the wellness of the leader, and with emotional intelligence, relationship intelligence. And so I have the Influential Leader Network. And so it's about leaders having impact. It's not always external. If we do it ourselves, it's going to by default be external, but having leaders learn about themselves a little bit more. So I would love to have people join me.
Yeah. So guys, look for Charisse Connect and come down and see us in April. The Clinician Connection Conference in Virginia Beach, April 18th, 19th. You can find us at clinicianconnection.net. You can email us hello@clinicianconnection.net, or just find me on Facebook, Chris Conley. Be my friend, send me a DM, whatever you want. If you got questions, I got you. And we hope to see everybody in April. Thanks again for taking some time to chat, Charisse.
Thank you so much, Chris. I'm so excited for April and can't wait to see everyone.